guys, back again with another album review, and today we are going to be reviewing the highly anticipated new project from Jermaine Cole himself, The Fall Off. This is Cole's first album since his 2021 project, The Off Season. He did drop in 2024, Might Delete Later, which was kind of like a little throwaway mixtape of some pretty quality songs on there. J. Cole's been killing it as of late with his feature run, obviously. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Hopefully this can make up for Grippy.
It's Grippy.
And before we dive into the review, I want to give a big shout out and props to T-Minus. Everyone knows of Kendrick and Soundwave and how they have a strong working relationship with each other. We really need to start putting a little bit more praise and talk on J. Cole and his working relationship with T-Minus, because holy fuck, I mean crazy production from T-Minus on this whole project. I mean killing it. So big shout out to him. This project is a double disc. First side of the project is from his point of view when he's 29 years old, entering into his 30s, and the second part is when he's 39 years old, entering into his 40s. This is a very much story-driven and introspective album from J. Cole. Not that his other projects aren't, but this one's very much story-driven. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first real song on the album is 2-6. Before this is Intro 29, but 2-6 is the second record, and it's the first like real song. This song, J. Cole comes in super aggressive, slides on the track, very impressive performance, showing off why he's one of the greatest in the game right now. The project opens up with 2-6, a nod to where he's from, and it's a very, very solid performance from him. I mean, just straight bars, attacking the beat. It's a very fun song, very well put together. Next song is Safety, and this is more of a old school boom bap type production on this record, which I do like. It's very experimental. This whole project is, this whole project seems very familiar to J. Cole's sound, but definitely he's taking some leaps and bounds, expanding upon it, which I think every artist should do. With this track, he's talking about safety, talking about kind of reminiscing on the past and where he came from and how he grew into becoming this big star, and everyone kind of clamoring for his attention and his time, and him kind of just wondering, like, is he gonna make it home safe? And just very solid performance. Next song is Run a Train featuring Future. This track's interesting. I mean, this seems to be a fan favorite from the project because of Future's delivery on the hook, which I'm not really the biggest fan of. I don't dislike it per se, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think there's a lot of better songs than this one on the album, but it's not a bad record, and Future's part really isn't bad, just a tad bit different. J. Cole comes through with some solid verses. Future obviously has a more standout-ish performance on the track. It's good. It's about kind of just ruling and, running a train on the world and saying, fuck the world, I'm going to do what I want. And it's got more this laid-back production, but talking about just doing whatever the hell you want with life and just being your own person. The song is Poor Thing, and on this song, the whole production on the track is built very prominently around these hi-hats and snares throughout the whole track. J. Cole is talking about how he used to grow up and people would look at him as this poor, kind of kid, struggling to make ends meet, and just talking his shit about how he came from that all the way till being the point where he's at, being one of the fucking goats of rap and just being a made man for himself. Song is Legacy, and on this track, J. Cole's almost having a conversation with himself, talking to himself in the third person, about almost like having a conversation in the mirror with himself about what legacy is he leaving behind. Is it one of, positivity and him kind of being sick at some of the things he's seen himself do, with women and with fame and all the things that he's accumulated over time. And I do appreciate that he's being a lot more melodic on this whole project, and this is one of the songs. It starts out very melodic with him harmonizing, and then there's a beat switch about a quarter way through the track, and he goes into having a very solid rapping performance that's very heavily story based, and kind of takes you through that whole story of him talking to himself kind of openly and being like, am I really doing the right thing? Am I leaving the legacy behind that I want to? I'm fucking disgusted at myself for doing or seeing these things or being a part of this. Next song is Bounce Road Blues featuring Future and Tim's. This is a very good song, kind of another standout from the project. I prefer Future's performance on this. He has a verse on this one. J. Cole opens up the track, has a pretty good verse, nothing too crazy, and then Future comes in interpolating Usher's performance on Nice and Slow, which is iconic. At 7 o'clock in my drop top cruising down the street, but he makes it about fucking being a gangster and shit. I really liked it. And then Tim's comes through vocally very impressive. She's got a very unique sound to her, but her lyrics weren't anything too crazy. And she covers more so the hook and chorus on the track, but I don't know. I feel like J. Cole should add a little bit more of his presence on the track. I think he kind of was at the start and then gave it off to them to kind of carry the track a little bit, and then he came through a little bit at the end, but I would like to see him a little bit more present on this one. Next song is Who the Fuck Is You? On this song, J. Cole samples Mobb Deep's Drop a Gem on Him, which is a super fucking gritty, grimy, eerie, haunting sound. So J. Cole just fucking slides on this shit. Like, that's it. He fucking slides on it. He fucking comes for everybody on this fucking one. I mean, just talking his shit, putting everyone on notice that he is fucking the best of the best, fucking upper tier, fucking S tier, upper echelon fucking GOAT rap. I mean, he's just that fucking guy, not to fucking glaze J. Cole, but this is a fucking crazy performance. He's talking his shit on this track. I love to fucking see it, especially from such a high level and high caliber artist like him. Comes through, just amazing performance, amazing performance, but I wouldn't even say this is one of the best songs on the album. This just one of the fucking, if we're talking straight, just aggressive fucking bars, this is it. But I think there's some better songs on this project, which, I mean, that really tells you a lot right there. The song is Drum and Bass, on this very smooth piano beat that you can really catch a vibe to. This is something that definitely sounds like a late night drive song. I really enjoy this one. I think it's a very solid track. Production is definitely top tier on this one, even though it's nothing super crazy. It doesn't have fucking insane 808s, it doesn't have all the fucking bells and whistles, but it's just a solid, very solid produced track as far as production wise. J. Cole comes through, very strong performances on all three of his verses. Hook is nothing too crazy, just kind of a simple hook, but it's a vibe, the song's just a vibe. The next song is The Let Out, and it starts by, I believe, sampling this Spanish guitar, which I wasn't expecting. This is more of a melodic performance from J. Cole on the project, and this is one that I really like. This is definitely one of my favorites on the album. J. Cole just kind of harmonizing and really being melodic with his performance on this track. talking about like will they survive, you know, out in the world, and in the conditions he was living in at the time. And it's just a fucking really fun record, really solid. I've been hearing mixed reviews on it, but I really like it. I really like his experimentation with being more melodic on this song. I think he does really, really good with it. I think it's one of his stronger performances. I know we've seen stuff like this, you know, with some of his features and with some of his previous project, The Off Season, on some tracks on there. But I think it really comes together and really fully shines through on this track. The song is Bombs in the Ville / Hit the Gas. The start of the track, I was enjoying his melodic performance on the previous song, The Let Out. Here, he fucking really pushes it, I'm gonna say, a little too far. I mean, he's really, really fucking getting into like singing his heart out on the start of this one, and it seems a little overdone in my opinion. Like, it's not bad, it's just like a little strange, you know, coming from like the previous song. It was like more of a melody, kind of harmonizing, humming, you know, kind of grooving with the song. And this one, he's like singing, you know, his fucking for his life on this one. Then the second half of the song kind of turns into this almost drill inspired beat with the 808s on there, and with the hi-hats. I don't mind it, but it's not like straight drill. It's just got those like drill 808s that are pretty infamous. But yeah, it's not bad, but definitely one of the weaker performances on the album. Almost not because it's a weak performance, because he almost is doing a little too much, if you know what I'm saying. The song is Lonely at the Top. He's talking about how he struggles, you know, being at the top when, you know, you've made it. There's a lack of motivation, and I really like that he also kind of shows that with his delivery on the track. He's got this kind of monotone sound throughout the whole song, which I like. It's kind of reminds me of Pusha T's delivery on POV from last year. This like very monotone, like he's almost talking, but it's just kind of grooving and sliding along the track. Production very well complements that on here. It's nothing super crazy, just like a simple bass and snare. I like this song. I think it's one of the more sleeper tracks on the album because it's not super high energy and it's not nothing crazy, but it's a very introspective song on J. Cole and where he's at, you know, being a feeling of, you know, laziness because he's made it, and being like, I gotta work and I want to work, but like, what am I working for? What am I aiming for? What's the goal, you know, now? Because I have money, I have this, I have success, I have the cars, I can do whatever I want. I've, you know, made something of myself, but now it's like I want to keep working and I want to keep getting more fulfillment, but I don't have that hunger for it, you know? I'm starting to fall off. Next song is 39 Intro. This is the start of disc 2. Song starts with J. Cole kind of singing about his big dreams and kind of wanting to shoot for the stars, and then some shots ring out and a fire beat switch happens, and he goes into rapping on this super crazy trap beat, and he just fucking has a super good verse at the end, kills it. The song is The Fall Off Is Inevitable. This song, he is telling a story about his life, and he starts it uniquely in reverse. So the start of the song, he talks about his death and then working his way backwards through marriage, becoming a father, him, you know, becoming successful, then him having the dream, and then him putting the work in, all these things, and then eventually down to him being born. I think it's a super unique concept for a track, similar to Rewind by Nas off of Stillmatic. Very good performance, super, super crazy storytelling on the track. I mean, this really shows Cole's pen and how strong it is. The song is The Villist featuring Erykah Badu. This is definitely a more kind of funky kind of vibe. I enjoy it. It's definitely more of a chill kind of vibe. It's definitely shows though more so of that experimentation that J. Cole's been showing. The song is Old Dog featuring Petey Pablo. This one is a fire song, definitely a banger off the album, a standout for me. I really enjoy this record. J. Cole just comes sliding through, really good verses. Production is pretty good, nothing insane for like more of a trap style beat, but it is good. Definitely gives you more of that southern kind of influence to it, like some Memphis or Tennessee kind of production wise feel, but more so that I guess North Carolina sound, obviously. I really, really like this one. And yeah, I enjoy it. Next song is Life Sentence, and on this track, J. Cole's kind of talking about picking women and the right one, not wanting to pick, the one that's just hot and her end up, playing you and trapping you, picking a strong woman, that wants to be there for you, that's gonna have a meal ready for you when you come home, that's gonna be supportive of you, be by your side, that's gonna help you raise your family and follow your dreams, and is gonna lift you up same way you're gonna have to lift her up and be there to support her. I really like this song. It's one of the more low-key performances on the album, but not a bad record. The song is Only You featuring Burna Boy, and on this track, kind of similar to the last one, it's a love song, talking about how he kind of only wants his partner and only wants her, and the love they share and how important that is. So the last track kind of talking about picking the right partner, and this one about only wanting one partner and only wanting that special person for you. The song is Man Above, and on this track, J. Cole's kind of talking about dealing with grieving of, seeing people get sent to the man above. I'm not religious, but, a lot of people are. And seeing people, die and, being at their funeral and, young kids dying in the streets and all the death that he kind of saw early on growing up. The song is I Love Her Again, and on this track, he samples Common, and originally I thought it was Q-Tip, but no, it's just Common with his vocals pitched up. I really like this song. I'm a big fan of the sample on the track. Production overall as a whole is very strong. Very much gives you that, Tribe Called Quest. I mean, late 90s kind of vibe, mid to late 90s, 96, 97, around that time. I really like this song. It's a good song. I really like how J. Cole tells this fantastic, immersive story where he's talking about this girl that he saw, coming up, and he really wanted to, get with her, and he really liked her, so he sent her a DM and tried to get her attention, and she wasn't kind of feeling him, but then he kind of started getting some money and started becoming a famous rapper and all this, and over time, she kind of fell for him, and how their kind of relationship ended up souring, and she kind of ended up just kind of never growing up with him. She, kind of stayed a kid. She would get older, but still date young guys, and they kind of separated, and him kind of coming back around thinking she's going to be changed, but she's not, and him still, kind of feeling this love for her, but it's not really real. It's, kind of just all a game to her. I really like the story. I think J. Cole really immerses you in the song and in the story with his storytelling on this song. Super, super impressive. The song is What If. On this track, J. Cole's talking about, what if certain things didn't happen in his life, and what if certain relationships didn't turn sour, primarily with friends, what if, I still was friends with this person, or what if I reached out to this person again, and kind of wishing and looking back at life and being like, oh, damn, I should have, maybe try to figure things out with this person, or, oh, I should have tried to, reach out to this person when they really need me and I wasn't there. And then also looking at, decisions he made in his own life that, what if I did this? Would I still be around today? Would I be dead? things of that nature. You know, would I be a star? Would I have made things differently? So I really like this story. This song, I think it's a real cool song and kind of not a full story fleshed out in this, but definitely a very interesting song. The song is another storytelling track, and it's called Quick Stop. This one, he's telling a story about this guy coming up trying to press him and him just not having any of it, and you know what would happen if things may went a little different in the situation. The beat is very simple, and it's almost like a spoken word piece. The whole track, I don't know how quite to feel about it. I have mixed emotions. It's not bad, but it's not great. J. Cole comes through slowly progressing and getting aggressive on the track, but sounding almost like frustrated, like he's having an argument with the guy. I don't know. It's a interesting track. Next song is "And the Whole World Is the Ville." This one, he's kind of talking about all the famous people and accomplishments that have came from his city and his state, and just kind of showing love to all of them. The song is "Ocean Way." This one is another singing performance. He's singing on the whole track, kind of talking about how the waves kind of take away all the pain from life, and that's something I've talked about before on this channel. It's okay song, nice little outro, nothing too special. Overall, I really like this project. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this project ages. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I think this is a very good album and very close to being a perfect album. There are no necessarily bad songs on the album. I did give his previous project, The Off Season, a 10 out of 10. I think this album isn't quite a 10 out of 10, even though all the songs are good, just because it's so big. You know, the project's 2 discs, it's 24 tracks. It's definitely could be slimmed down to about 15 records, 15, 16 records. Like these last 2 tracks weren't really needed. I mean, there's a few more in there that I could live without, but they're not bad. They're just kind of thrown on there and tacked on. I like the album. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 though, just because it's a little too big of a project and not as concise as the off season was. I am interested how this will age, but for now I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Top 3 favorite songs from the album are The Let Out, Old Dog, and I Love Her Again. Well, let me know what you guys thought of the off season down in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out all my other social medias, and till next time, peace out.